the most insight and value, right? The last point I want to make is simply this. When you make a decision that you want to be an entrepreneur, always ask yourself what kind of entrepreneur you want to be. Because there are different types of entrepreneurs, by the way. One of the things that is exciting to me about the people in this room is I think most of you have the potential to be the kind of entrepreneur we need. So, you know, in our firm, I've created a venture capital fund now. I invested 10 million of my own money, and we're raising an additional 790 million. We've now raised 346 million at last count, so we've got another 400 million odd to go, and we'll get it. I'm sure by Feb next year, we'll raise the rest of it. And in effect, what we do is we raise the capital, and then we say to the people who give us the capital, give us the money, we will invest it in high growth entrepreneurs, but don't phone us for 5 years, because we just want to invest. And after 5 years, you can then phone us and say, so these businesses you've invested in, how have they done? The reason I started doing this is because when I was on Dragon's Den, those of you who watch Dragon's Den, and by the way, if you're wondering, they did ask me to be on Shark Tank. And the reason I was not on Shark Tank is I was on Dragon's Den, one season, there were 104 entrepreneurs who applied, 91 made it onto the show to see. It's 13 episodes, and each episode has, on average, about 7 entrepreneurs, between 4 and 7 entrepreneurs that you watch. What you don't see, by the way, are the ones who didn't make it onto the screen. There were some terrible quality entrepreneurs in that group. Terrible. Yeah. Person comes to present a business, and you say, so what is your projected turnover year 2? And they have to refer to notes. When you're an entrepreneur, guys, if there is one thing you need to know backwards, it's your numbers. Numbers are everything. And remember, turnover, yeah? You gotta know turnover, you have to know gross margin, you have to know net margins, and you have to know the capital flow dividends at the bottom end. Have to know it. I'll tell you why. Turnover tells me the size of opportunity in your business. Gross margin tells me whether or not this business is worth being in the first place. If I have to sell this water at 10 Rand each, and I have to sell, let's imagine, if I have to sell this water at 1 Rand each, and I sell 1 million units, I make 1 million Rand. Do you agree? Mm-hmm. But if I only make 1 cent from every bottle of water that I sell, that's terrible gross margins. Because I haven't paid salaries. I haven't paid rentals. I've not paid my other expenses yet. So what happens is, the smaller your gross margins, yeah, the more pressure there is on the business to do high turnover for it to cover operating expenses. So you have to make sure you understand these numbers. Turnover, gross margin, right? And that's simple. Turnover, I wish we had a thing I would draw, but turnover is nothing more than price times quantity gives you turnover. How much are you going to sell? How many are you going to sell? That's your turnover, yeah? Gross margin is simply removing the cost of sales. How much does it cost to make 1 bottle? How many bottles are you going to make? That's the cost. The difference is your gross margin. In other words, after I've sold these, 1 Rand, I sold 1 million, I make 1 million bucks. Let's imagine it cost me 50 cents to make each. In other words, from every million that I sell, I'm going to make 500,000 Rand gross margin. Then I have to pay myself, I have to pay my staff, I have to pay offices, telephone, everything. Then imagine this cost me another 450,000. At the end of each month, I make 50,000 net. What am I going to do with this 50,000? Well, it depends. And that's, by the way, where I've seen most entrepreneurs who come to pitch fail. You have to know what's going to be what we call the capital flow net of expenses. And here's what simply that means. It means the investor in the business always gets paid last. Please don't forget that. When you are an employee, you get paid second. When you are an investor or the entrepreneur, you get paid last. I have to explain this. Just allow me some latitude. I have to explain this.